is this rather heinous teapot. I was looking for something kind of house shaped. I had this idea that I wanted to make like a witch's cottage ornament. How? So this is the teapot all finished. I know I took a few little clips that you'll have just seen, just of like the process and also me being a little bit arty-farty. This took a couple of days, mostly just because it's been so humid here recently that although it's been really hot, the paint just doesn't want to seem to dry. So sometimes I had to just put one coat of paint on it per day, and then it took like 24 hours for it to be completely touch dry. So that's been incredibly irritating. But it is now finished, and I just wanted to take you through a little closer look of it. I added these little birds, which are from a dancing scarecrow. That's like a solar-powered scarecrow you might have seen in some of my Instagram pictures, I believe. I bought it in Texas from the Dollar Tree, just randomly while I was on holiday, because it was cute. But one of the birds snapped off, and then I snapped the other one off to keep it company. And those are just hot glued on. I just thought they added a little bit of extra dimension to the project in that it just sort of made it look like some stuff had been added or like it had been purposefully designed to be spooky. I did see someone comment on the picture that I put up of just the naked teapot, that it should be like an Addams Family one, and that is such a cool idea. And I did kind of play around with the idea of maybe doing it like a kind of spooky gothic house, but I'm kind of saving that for when I find one that has dormer windows, or you know, like those little rooms, like little windows which have like a little bit of extra roof over the top of them, and they come out of like the existing roof. I think those are called dormer windows. So I kind of wanted one like that. This to me looked just so cute and sweet, that I wanted to do it kind of cartoony. So I just picked these really lurid Halloween colours, like this bright, bright orange, purple, and bright yellow and green. And it kind of went pretty okay, actually. I added these, like the spooky tree on the back. The window frames gave me some problems because I was using a Posca ceramic marker that I had just randomly left over from another project, and it was a little bit dry and a little bit hard to work with on the acrylic paint. So some of these ended up a little bit globby, but they were as neat as I could make them. Let's just put it that way. Same with like where the colours meet on the teapot. That was just as neat as I could get it with many, many, many touch-ups. So that is just as good a paint job as I could do. I didn't end up doing anything with this crack aside from just painting over it. You can still see it obviously, but I didn't want to make it like a feature of the front. And I painted over those horrible tulips and added these kind of like lavenderish foxglove looking plants, which are just like dabbed on with a bit of soil at the bottom because that made sense. I also stuck this piece of felt on the bottom just to make it, because it had like some acrylic paint on the bottom and I was worried it would stick to the shelf, because acrylic paint to me just never seems to dry completely to the point where it's not sticky anymore. It always stays sticky. So I just cut out a piece of felt from a multi-pack of felt that I had from another project. Can you tell I'm a hoarder? And I just hot glued that onto the bottom. I've also hot glued the lid on because whether by design or by defect, it was wonky and was always kind of tipped slightly to one side. And I wanted it to be like straight on the front and not wonky. So you can see on the back, it is wonky because it has to be wonky on one side to fit the other side properly. And obviously I prioritised the front over the back, but I did try to get it as even as possible and just used hot glue for that as well. And then basically just to kind of stop the rest of it being sticky again and to get it like so that I could dust it if, you know, I do my yearly dusting. I sprayed it over with some clear coat spray. I bought that one ages ago for another project from Wilkinson's. It was about £11 for that big can, and I've not run out yet, and I use it on lots of different things. It's really good over acrylic paint. It makes everything like super shiny and sealed in, and it sort of stopped the paint scratching off, because when I like sketched out the tree on the back, just rubbing the pencil against like 3 layers of completely dry paint, it just ripped a massive chunk off. So if I was to do something like this again, I would definitely invest in some sort of primer spray, because I feel like that would make painting on the china a lot easier. And I do want to do this again like with another teapot, because this was a lot of fun and I think it came out really cute and sweet. I don't know what to do with it now aside from just put it on the shelf. For me, like making these things is the interesting, exciting part. Having them it's kind of besides the point. But yeah, I'm quite pleased with it. I think it came out really nice and cute. And if I was to get like another one, I would want to again get like a nicer one with like more detail on it. But obviously it just depends on what I can find in charity shops. I kind of want to find like a round trinket pot and do something kind of poison apple themed as well. I think that could be quite fun. But let me know in the comments if you like this kind of video, like seeing kind of upcycled spooky witchy things, because I do like making these things just for myself, because obviously buying things like this from like TK Maxx or something is not something you can do year round, because they have the Halloween stuff in only for like a short time around this time of year. But also it can be quite expensive, like sort of paying upwards of £15 for like larger ornaments. And if you have my tendencies of doing little craft projects and having like a lots of like half tubes of paint and things around, this is like kind of a good alternative. And if you're on Instagram and you have made something like this or plan to make something like this, tag me in it at Witchfix Podcast, because I would really love to see what you've been up to. You're probably a lot more talented than me, and to get some inspiration from you guys. But until then, I'll see you in the next one.